A woman knows the difference between a man that's trying to work themselves up and a man that's using them. Because in the beginning, a woman will trust the fact that you haven't gotten all together. When more men say that, oh, women want to date men that got, that's cap. I know a bunch of dudes who have nothing who gets buns, who gets relationships. It's cap. There are a lot of women that will work with you. But a lot of men, while they're working, they're not seeing no progression. These men are not actively doing anything more than what they're saying. They're vocalizing it, but their action says nothing. I want to be a man. I want to buy my house. You haven't saved nothing. You got $13 in your account and you're about to go buy some za. You think she's going to take you serious? She's going to look at you as a joke. And the more a woman sees you as a joke, the more she don't see you. The more you tell a woman what you want to do and the more you don't do it, the more she sees you as a joke. Because a woman likes action. A woman respects a man that's trying more than a man that's talking. You can say absolutely nothing to a woman and a woman will value you more than a man that's sitting there talking a lot. Women love men that are about action. That's why they are, right? It's just what it is.
Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. I am so excited. And I'm asking this question today that by the end of this episode, we want to come to the conclusion of what happened to it. Today's topic, guys, is what happened to masculinity. What happened? Like when I listen to some people talk about how their grandfathers was and how their grandmothers was and how people used to be, it's sad because no one is representing these people, but they still expecting the same circumstances of these people. I will admit, before I start off, admitting your grandfather could literally take care of a whole household on one income. And I'm gonna be fair to that. And I'm not gonna sit there and let people just keep throwing up their grandfather. Oh, my grandfather took care of my grandmother. Yeah, because the mortgage was $3.88, right? It was just being honest and fair. Today, that mortgage is $3,896, right? So reality is the times have definitely changed and is way more expensive. But what I'm asking today is what happened to the masculinity? What happened to the men that had morals, that had principles, that had pride? Today we was talking about pride. A lot of men don't have pride anymore. I'm a very prideful man, to the point where I would never put myself in a position where a woman can use anything against me. For instance, I'm the type of guy who would never move into a woman's place. And the reason why I wouldn't move into a woman's place, because I know for a fact when she get mad, in most cases, and I say most cases, so if the person is on my live right now, I'm like, I would never do that. They're the exception to the rule. But in most cases, a woman will never see you as a man moving into her residence. And the man that argues that is the man that has clearly accepted the femininity role and the aesthetics of a household, right? A man gives his family a place to call home, right? A man don't look for a woman that has a home and then play home on a situation that was already established. When you really look at it, the men nowadays want to be treated like kings, but they behave like little boys. I find it weird when men move into women's properties or places or apartments and play men. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Somebody gonna get mad, but I love to get people mad. The men that move into these women places and play men, I call them Christopher Columbus. They're the people that discover what was already there and they act like they built it. So for all the men that move into the woman's house or drive the woman's car and act like he's this alpha man, I'm calling you Christopher Columbus because you discovered what was already discovered and you act like it's yours. No man of a status or any man that has values, virtue, and respect for himself would ever put himself in that position. So the men that do, your name is Christopher Columbus. You found a woman who has her life together, and then you move up in her property, and you act like you did something to establish the situation. You ain't no man. That's a little boy. Because a man would never put himself in that position. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the illest men are the men that beat a woman to the punch. When you know for a fact a woman's mouth go off like a gun and you give her mouth ammunition, therefore you deserve to get shot because you're the one that's giving her mouth ammunition. A woman's mouth is like a gun. The more ammunition you give, the more she will shoot. So therefore, don't give her ammunition. Remove the bullets. And then you don't have to deal with the mouth. Because it's one thing for a woman to be talking in anger, but it's another thing when she's saying the truth. Let me say this, a woman's mouth is like a gun. The more ammunition you give her, the more she shoots. And the more you give her the ammunition, you can't be mad at the fact that she's shooting. If you want to not hear her mouth, don't give her ammunition. But we gonna say, yo, she shouldn't talk like that. Again, I agree. But in the same breath, it's one thing for a woman to be chatting and you know it's not true. And it's another thing when you getting angry because she's telling the truth. When she say you ain't got nowhere to live and you mad because you don't got nowhere to live. When she say you can get out of my house and you get mad because you know you ain't got nowhere to go if you do get out of the house. You can't be mad at the circumstances that you put yourself in. And it's one thing for a man to go into the situation with a plan to exit. There has to always be a point of entry and a point of exit, right? That's what a wise man always establishes. What's the end game? The end game can't be, I'm gonna stay at her house until I decide I wanna leave or she kicks me out. A man goes there with a plan. So if a man does move into a woman's property, I'm assuming that he has a plan to give her a better situation. But if not, if your situation got better off of her situation, that means she's in control of the situation. If your situation got better because of her situation and you didn't add no value to the situation, that means you are still a child. So I'm asking myself every day, what happened in masculinity? I'm gonna tell a story and I want everybody in my life to hear this. The other day, one of my boys come to me. He owns a security firm. He said, Q, do you know anybody that can get me to New Jersey? I said, why? He said, a big celebrity was out in Jersey and he wanted to get to the event, but he didn't want to drive up there. He said, when he get up there, he'll Uber back and he'll Uber there. I said, okay. So I said, I do know somebody. So I called one of my boys. He ain't my boy, but somebody I'm close with. I said, yo, let me ask you a question. He said, what's that? I said, what are you doing today? He said, I'm not doing anything. I said, okay. He said, matter of fact, I'm about to go to Jersey. It's a coincidence by coincidence that he was about to drive to New Jersey, right? From New York to Jersey. And the guy wants to go to Jersey. So he goes, word? I said, yeah. I said, he's willing to pay for you. He goes, I'm still busy. I'm doing something. I said, what? He said, I got to get a haircut. He said, tell him I'll pay for his haircut right now. And if he come right now, I'll pay for his haircut. And I'll pay him to drop me up there. This man found every excuse in the world not to drive this man up there. Meanwhile, he's about to go up there because he wanted to go on his own time. I find it crazy that today you have to beg men to work as if they're doing you a favor. The Bible says a man that doesn't work don't eat, but these men feel like they're supposed to still eat even though they don't want to work hard. So I'm asking, what happened to masculinity? What happened to the men who were so prideful that they would say, yo, I'm not going to allow that to be me. I would never put myself in that position, right? But the nuance of men tend to look at women as the problem, but they don't see that they're the problem because they put themselves in positions where they can get emasculated, right? This is an issue. You putting yourself in a position and you blaming the woman for saying things that she genuinely feels. Because I'm going to tell you, women are so ill that they can have sex with you and after sex, they curse you out. Women are so ill, they can have sex with you and after sex, tell you to get the hell off of them. Because again, she had to get her rocks off just like you. But don't mean she sees you as the man that you think you are. There are a lot of little boys running around here just because they can get a woman's intimacy, that mean they think they have control. Just because you can get a woman's intimacy don't mean you have control. And that's what a lot of men don't understand. So everybody in my life today, I'm asking what happened to masculinity? These men don't have no pride. You have men who are in multiple relationships when they can't even afford one relationship. You have men who are literally begging you to borrow money. I'm gonna tell you something. I want y'all to hear this good. Watch this. There are two types of people that ask for money. One is the type of person that comes to you, like say he's standing on the corner with a cup, right? And he's asking you to put money in a cup. The second guy that asks for money is the guy that'll say, yo, do you got any work at your house that I could do for the money? That's the person that might be just on their bad moments, but they're not a bad person. There are two different types of people that you see that ask for help. One is the person that stands there with the cup, looking for someone to just put it in the cup for free. And the second person is the person that say, yo, do you have any work for me to do? So therefore he can earn or she can earn the money. That's a different person. Two types of people, right? But again, we look at the people who beg, and I'm like, yo, that person that's asking you, yo, do you got any work at your house I could do so I can make a couple dollars? I respect that person extremely. Let me give a round of applause. That's not the same person. They're two different people. The person that he's not letting his ego and his pride get in the way, but he's also saying that I'm gonna give you value for value. So the person that's asking you for the work is looking at it like, you know what, I'll give you value for value, so therefore you're gonna respect me because I'm gonna earn the money you're gonna give me. Then the other person is just literally just sitting there looking for a handout. I feel like these men nowadays are legit looking for women to take care of them. And I'm gonna be honest. To all my ladies that be talking about how they got all these options and plentiful, once you get to know these options, you're gonna realize you don't have the options that you think you have. Go ahead, tell them.
What do you think happened? Because it was back in the day, like it was a pride to work hard and not be lazy and get things done, be a motivated man, inspire others, you know, inspire the next generation. What happened? When do you think it happened? And what happened that is like the masculinity is just gone? Men don't want to work. They're not trying to inspire others or inspire themselves or level up. It's like they rather settle. What do you think happened?
I think it's a two-part answer. The first part is the mass incarceration, so you remove the examples of what manhood look like. And the repercussions of that, you have a lot of women who overcoddle the sons and they treat the sons like little kings when they're nothing. The little boys that you see in society today, a lot of times if they come from single mothers, either they were overly coddled or they were overly emasculated. There's not a balance. So when you see this young man who crashes out because he was taught how to crash out, when you see that, and I'm not blaming women. So if somebody taking it that way, grow up. Reality is mass incarceration removed a lot of the fathers, right? And now you have a lot of misguided young men running around here. And if they have mothers, a lot of times mothers overcompensate because it's a guilt. A lot of them feel guilty that their father's not there. So they overcoddle because either A, they don't want the child to end up incarcerated, or B, is because they feel guilty that he's not there. So I understand both aspects when you're really looking at it from a totality standpoint. A lot of the mothers, they simply go like this. What do you want to eat? Why are you asking the child what he wants to eat? He ain't paying for it. That goes right there, entitlement that you've created. Now that asking them what they want to eat when they're older becomes the person that thinks that they run the house and they can in control, but you allow them to do that. I know people right now who will let their sons, women who will let their sons, 13, 16, 14, bring a girl in the house and lay up in a room. And then they believe that this young man ain't gonna believe that he's an adult before he's ready to be an adult. Close the door in the room and everything, and then you have the nerve to wonder why man talk back to you. Because you treated little man like he was a grown man when he wasn't. So you see the conversations that you have, but a lot of times we personalize these conversations rather than looking at the logic of it. When a person isn't logical, they become emotional, and emotional people cannot learn logic because they're in their feelings. When you're in your feelings, you can't access logic. And this is what you're seeing a lot of people do. They can't access logic because of the fact that it's making them feel away. It's making me insecure. It's making me question me as a mother or as a father. Listen, in order to grow, you got to be able to be receptive of hearing truth. I will say that a lot of women overcoddle their sons to the point where you're seeing these young men in society. I watched a woman one time go to McDonald's, get her son a burger, drive to Wendy's, get her son some nuggets, and then drove to Burger King to get her son some fries. And then you wonder why the little man is so entitled and he believes that he's looking for a mom opposed to a wife. You have to be taught how to be a husband in order for you to make sense as a husband. But you see the masculinity is being removed, and it seems like, I'm gonna say this on record, and a lot of people are gonna get offended, and I'm gonna say this truthfully. I genuinely believe that straight men get less respect than gay men. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm gonna say this on record. I don't have nothing against gay men. I don't care about no one's sexual preference. But the one thing I do say is, as a straight man, I feel like there's an attack on straight men and there's an agenda. And if I say this, someone's gonna get offended. I don't care. Because it's my truth. I genuinely believe there's an attack on straight men, and anytime a straight man speaks with boundaries and sternness, he becomes masculine toxicity, aggressive, right? Insecure. The other day I'm gonna tell you this story. I want y'all to hear this. So, and I'm gonna tell something personal, and if she hear it, I know how to fight a little bit, so I'm gonna be all right. I was dating a girl, and when we was dating, I started liking her. She had a male best friend that she introduced me to in the beginning. From day one, she introduced me to him. So it wasn't nothing abnormal, right? In most cases, if you respect somebody, when somebody brings you somebody and say, this is my friend, you automatically roll out the red carpet for that person because you trust their level of judgment as a person. Who you gonna bring around me? So, long story short, this man was her best friend. My mouth to God's ears, I never thought they had anything, ever. And nothing that they did to make me even think that. So long story short, we dated for about 1.5 years. One day we go out for drinks and he gets so intoxicated that he starts rambling and rambling and rambling. And he's saying things like, that's giving me the thought that they've been intimate. And I'm gonna tell you why. He's saying things like, yo, I'm telling you, she's a real good girl. You don't know what you got. And it's basically like saying like he missed out on something. That's it, like he wants her. And that's what I'm getting out of that conversation. And the more I'm listening, I'm like, yo, this is a little weird. I think he slept with her. So what I choose not to do, and men, I want y'all to hear this well, you become ill when you can control your whole energy. Even though I felt the way, it was a lot of people in the room. I didn't make a scene. I said, I'm gonna talk to her about it later. So long story short, the party's over, we leave, we're in the car. And while we're in the car, I said to her, let me ask you something. She goes, what's up? I said, I'm gonna ask you something dead serious. She said, what? I said, yo, were you and so-and-so intimate? First thing she says is usually the liars, what makes you think that? Oh my God, what are you talking about? And I said, I'm gonna ask you this one more time, right? Have you and so-and-so, have you ever been intimate? She goes, I'm gonna be honest with you, yes, we were about 1 year ago, maybe 2 years ago. No, I'm lying. She said it was 5 or 6 years ago. She said it was 5, 6 years ago. She said it happened one time and it wasn't for me. We did, and I'm good. I'm not interested. Now watch this. When I sat back and thought about it, in 1.5 years of me and her dating, she was with him about 6 years ago. But I got very close with him to the point where I told him a lot of intimate things, right? And I started noticing something. I said, I would have never been as inviting to him if I know you and him were intimate. I would have let him in stages opposed to just opening up the door to him. So long story short, she said to me, I apologize, I should have told you. I told her I don't want to be with you no more. She said, why? I said, because I'm gonna tell you something, I feel like there's no respect. And what I mean by that is, you should have let me know this before we even got this far. You should have told me that you and this man had some level of intimacy. The first thing she said to me, right? Watch this. You are insecure. And I'm gonna tell you ladies, and the reason why I told this story is because I want y'all to stop making men insecure just because they have boundaries and standards. Society has created this mentality that anytime a man of masculinity has some level of standards or some level of consciousness, he is insecure, he's everything under the sun other than a person that has boundaries. He's arrogant, he's everything under the sun. And I told her, I said, as a man, I don't feel comfortable anymore. So I could have, played with her feelings and kept entertaining her knowing I didn't feel the same way I felt at one point. Did I have love for her? Yes. Did I care about her? Yes. But the reality is she didn't have enough love and respect for me to tell me that this transpired even though it was before me. I have a right to know, and the only reason why I have a right to know, because he was still present. If he wasn't present, I wouldn't care. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is that he was present, so therefore I should know this. But I've noticed in today's society that everything that goes against masculine energy is automatically considered toxic. Like as a man, and I ask my ladies this on my live, how do you expect a man to lead when you're not giving them the keys to the car? So if your woman is the key, she's the key, right, and you putting her in the car with you, she got to trust you driving. Why are you in a car with somebody you don't trust driving? Because a man can't lead if a person is not going to follow suit for what they say. The other day I told a lady, and you ain't hear this crazy, I told a lady the other day a man has to have control of a woman. She said, that sounds crazy. I said, yeah, because in order to lead, you have to have control. I said, but the problem is y'all make every word so toxic because of your insecurities and your behaviors and your problems that you've been through. When a person says submission, the person don't mean slavery. When a person says submission, that means the willingness to allow to lead. So when you say submission and a woman gets inferior to the word submission, maybe she's not made to be a wife. She's not high value because a real woman understands what that means. When you're dealing with certain men, you have to understand they come with certain beliefs, certain aspects of life that they're not compromising for nobody. It's just what it is. And if you don't want to be on their program, they're not going to get on your program. I doubt Michael B. Jordan's getting on a woman's program. I doubt Denzel Washington is on somebody else's program. I can keep going. But that's reality. A woman adds value to a man hands down. So don't take it like I'm being a male chauvinistic pig, as everyone likes to consider when you set standards and boundaries. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. The question I'm asking today is, what happened to masculinity? What happened to it? Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. Today we're talking about what happened to masculinity. I'm seeing at an all-time high that a lot of men aren't masculine. They're not. And the sad part is they'll fight you, so that means they feel like they're tough. But in reality, they won't fight responsibilities. They won't fight to put their family in a better position, right? These crash outs is what we don't respect. I don't respect a man because he can go get a weapon and do something negative to somebody, and then you believe that that's a man. That's a fool. Because only a fool would throw himself in a position where he can't take care of his family. So when we look at these crash outs, I don't respect them. That's a child. Because you have no sense of self-control to the point where you can control yourself in a conversation that makes you uncomfortable. What does that say about that man? If a man can't be in an uncomfortable conversation and control his emotions, that is diabolical. Diabolical. Go ahead.
I was talking to this girl a couple weeks ago, and she was saying like her man is tough and this and that, and he's always reacting. And I said, that doesn't make you a man. That just makes you a crash out. The man who's always yelling and reactive and always want to fight, that's not manly, in my opinion. I feel like you're just a crash out and you're not really using logic.
But that girl right there, I bet you all my life she ain't got no father.
Actually, she doesn't.
There you go. So her idea is the protection that maybe she wanted as a kid. She's looking through that from her man. And the man is getting all the flowers because of the fact that she don't know what a real man is. Those real men were the men that were getting up every day, going to provide for their family when their feet hurt, rain, hell, sleet, or snow, and to provide for their family. Those are the real men, but she never saw that. So her idea is a man that'll fight for you, but why won't you live for me? If a man really loves his woman, he'll live for her. And what I mean by that is, look, you wanna die for me, right? But why don't you live for me? And that's what we need to learn. A lot of these men will die for these girls that they're so proud of, but why they want to live for you? And what I mean by live for you, why this man won't get up every day to go provide for you and to be a great man for you, but he'll crash out for you. That's an easy consequence. That's the sucker way out. The hardest way out is getting up every day and making sure you got to do what you have to do. So the fact that she's comfortable with a man crashing out for her because she never had a man that wouldn't get into an accident for her. So she liked the fact that these men are getting into a whole accident. But yet still, what about me? My insurance go down because why? I don't have accidents. And the results of us doing better is because of the fact that I'm not a crash out. If a woman looking for a crash out, she's still a child. She's still a whole child. She's a whole child, right? But I told you, we don't want to die for nobody, want to live. I want to live for my family. I want to give my family a better life, right? And I feel like these men nowadays, they lack pride. And what I mean by pride is they don't see themselves in a greater situation because of the fact that they're already incompetent. There's something called the incel. An incel is a man who doesn't voluntarily have sex. And he doesn't choose to, but he can't get any, right? And this is the men that's running around here every day. And a lot of these women, they laugh at these guys, but those guys would be the great husbands. But again, they said that 90% of women are in line waiting for 10% of men. And then they wonder why they so far behind in the line. For the man that you want right now, more than likely, he don't even exist. And if he does, he doesn't see you. And we talking logic. But a lot of times women get so offended by what you say, right? We're going to answer this caller. We're going to answer this caller, guys. Hold on one second. Caller, what's going on, caller? Hello?
Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
So I was calling because I seen what you were saying on the phone on your live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to tell my homegirl the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he'll die for me, girl. He'll kill for me. Now, have him live for you.
Yes.
Have him live for us.
Yes.
You feel me? If you're a real woman, you're not going to put your man, somebody that you love and care about, in a position where he feel like he got to crash out on for you.
Come on. Because he's weak.
Because if you're a woman, you already know what it is.
Yes.
You already know when you make eye contact with certain men, you already know the reaction. If you're a nice looking woman, and your body nice, you don't got to dress too provocative, because now it's not just disrespecting yourself, you disrespecting your mate.
Let me ask you a question.
And if this man is your king, he's your king.
100% true. Let me ask you a question.
So
let's say I'm your husband, right? And you see a video of me at work, and you know for a fact I could fight. And you see a video of me getting into it with one of my coworkers, and I choose not to do nothing because I'm worried about keeping the bills paid for you and my children. Wouldn't you respect me more?
Mm-hmm. No.
If a man,
I would definitely respect you extra, not just more, extra.
You see? And I think that society today looks different.
That means you thinking.
Yes. Yes.
You got a brain. So, I mean, before you make this decision to go ahead and be dumb, that's why I used to tell my ex all the time, like, listen to me. It's a such thing called work demeanor.
Yes.
That's not who you are, but that's who you need to be where you are to survive.
100% true. 100% true.
I'm a GNA CNA. I be disrespected every single day.
Wow.
I look at them people, I smile, and I keep it moving. I tell God, help me breathe, Lord. But that's it. Because it ain't going no further than that.
100%.
Because I need my paper, and ain't nothing stopping my paper.
Listen, we do what we got to do so we can do what we want to do.
Right. That part. Like, you just telling the truth today. Like, I was like, damn, you preaching.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you, my sister. I appreciate you.
You will.
Give it up for her. We got this crash out culture that we value, that we talk about. I watch these low vibrational men run around here talking bad about women, but if you're a great leader will ultimately know how to put a team together. So when a man understands that the woman is a representation of himself, he'll understand that why is he attached to a woman like that? When I hear that women always want to take advantage of me, I'm like, why are you choosing these women? Because it says volumes about you that you're looking for a false sense of control. Because a real man will not even be attracted to those type of women. I don't know no woman that don't have nothing no more. I know women that are very motivated. The women I'm around, they're about their stuff. Don't get me wrong, it happens, but I don't see those kind of people. I'm not around men who don't want to be better. I'm around men because I choose to, right? And what I normalized is what I'm around. I'm not gonna be around people that's not pursuing their greatest self, who go out for the weekend and don't realize that Monday morning they gotta get up and get back to the responsibilities because they have responsibilities. We're not around that. I'm watching a generation of very unmasculine men. And I'm asking everybody on my live today, call in and answer it. What happened to the masculinity? I'm scared of a lot of these dudes. Because I always say to myself, right? Somebody not gonna hurt me. You know what's gonna hurt me? It's gonna be a sucker who got nothing to lose. Because a wise man will make a great decision on choosing to where they should put themselves in and where they should be at, right? And this is an issue that we don't understand. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. 516-253-1150. Today I'm asking you guys on my live, what happened to masculinity? What happened to masculinity? Right? And you see these little young men and these men nowadays, ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I want y'all to hear this good. If you date a man, right, and you hear me, and he get to the point where he's screaming over you, and he going for mad long screaming and screaming and screaming, you ain't got no man. You got a clitoris. That's a whole shorty. That man is not a man. That man is dangerous. That man could stand there and argue with you for hours at the top of his lungs. That ain't no man. That is dangerous. That mean that man lacks self-control. And when a man lacks self-control, that is a dangerous man, right?
What do you feel like are like two essential things for a man to have in this generation? So whether it's like self-control, discipline, motivation, work ethic, what's like, not two, three, what is three major components for a masculine man to be masculine and be successful during these times?
I think having some self-respect for yourself, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's amazing how a grown man could call another grown man when you know that grown man went to work all day and you laid home and did absolutely nothing and asked him for money. It says a lot about that kind of man. Think about that narrative, Dre. For a grown man to stay home all day long and wait till that man get off of work to ask him for money. You his whole kid. Like, have some self-respect. Like, where's the self-respect at? I watch guys put women in their cars and knowing that it's their girlfriend car, they're driving around with the girl. Like, where is self-respect at, bro? You know damn well that car, that insurance says Tasha Coleman. You know she got the pink steering wheel that you take off every time you drive it. She got the diamond studded steering wheel that you drive you take it off when you drive it. You understand? She got the diamond studded steering wheel that you take it off every time you drive that car, and you feel like a man in that car. That's what self-respect lies at. Self-respect, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. A woman knows the difference between a man that's trying to work themselves up and a man that's using them. Because in the beginning, a woman will trust the fact that you haven't gotten all together. When more men say that, oh, women want to date men that got, that's cap. I know a bunch of dudes who have nothing who gets buns, who gets relationships. It's cap. There are a lot of women that will work with you. But a lot of men, while they're working, they're not seeing no progression. These men are not actively doing anything more than what they're saying. They're vocalizing it, but their action says nothing. I want to be a man. I want to buy my house. You haven't saved nothing. You got $13 in your account and you're about to go buy some za. You think she's going to take you serious? She's going to look at you as a joke. And the more a woman sees you as a joke, the more she don't see you. The more invisible you start becoming to her. The more invisible you become. The more you tell a woman what you want to do and the more you don't do it, the more she sees you as a joke. Because a woman likes action. A woman respects a man that's trying more than a man that's talking. You can say absolutely nothing to a woman and a woman will value you more than a man that's sitting there talking a lot. Women love men that are about action. That's how they are, right? It's just what it is. When we the leaders and a woman not seeing you lead and she's leading you and you expect her to allow you to lead and relinquish your role of leading when you're not even a good leader. It don't make sense. These are very feminine men out here nowadays. They need hugs. This is what happens when you have the broken syndrome, or you have the abandonment issues, or you have the mommy issues, or you have the daddy issues. A lot of times these men it's hard for them to take constructive criticism for men because there was never no man in the house teaching them how to take constructive criticism. It is hard to talk to a man that never seen a man in his house about how to be a man when he was never taught in his house how to be a man, but yet and still his mother treated him like a man, because a lot of the times these mothers date their sons. Somebody gonna get mad. Somebody gonna get mad. But you know you and your son are semi in a relationship. The only thing that's not there is intimacy, but everything else is there. He get the bigger plate. He gets the, what do you want to eat? Everything. And it's sad. I'm going to tell you something sad. And this is a sad thing. I know grown men who are in houses and take care of their house, and the mothers treat the kids better than the man. And then when the kid gets older, guess what? They're going to leave you. And now you want the man to love you. But in reality, he's not going to love you, because when it was time to show you him how much you cared about him, you chose the child over him every trip. And the child will ultimately choose his life over you. Most people do not value their mother and father the way they did when they were kids. And if they say otherwise, I call them cap. You ask somebody right now, when the last time you called your mother and said, how's your mental health? How you feeling? Is everything okay? And in most cases, she's going to say, I'm okay, because that's not a regular routine that y'all practice. So naturally, a person going to say, I'm good, because it's abnormal that you talk like that. When the last time you checked up on your mother? When the last time you checked up on your father? I know mothers who are 50, 60 years old still taking care of 20, 30, and 40-year-old men, and these men think they men. And the sad part is, your mother gonna go to her grave taking care of a child. That is diabolical. It's a goddamn shame. Your mother gotta take care of you. That's like a life sentence. That's a life sentence. They gotta take care of you. I know people who think they're more established because they count their parents' pockets. I know people who think they got more money than they have because they count their parents' pockets. The one thing I always pride myself in, when I turned 14, I went to my mother and said, Mom, don't give me nothing else. I don't want no Christmas gift. I don't want no birthday gift. By 16, I bought my car cash, over $10,000 by myself as a man, shoveling snow, working jobs, and doing what I had to do to hustle. I didn't want nobody to give me nothing, because I know when somebody give you something, they could always take it back. And if they can't physically take it back, they'll tell everybody they gave it to you. And let me say that one more time. I never wanted nobody to give me nothing, because if they gave it to you, they'll tell the world they gave it to you behind your back, or B, they'll take it from you. And I never wanted nobody to take nothing from me. So therefore, I decided to always go get my own. As a man, I tell her, when a war goes down, I don't run and hide. I grab my shield and sword and stand on the front line like it's lit. Whatever it is gonna be, it's gonna be. I go down with the ship. I don't run. This is the masculinity I'm talking about. What happened to these men was so prideful that, we're gonna fight for our children, not physically. We talk about it emotionally, financially, everything across the board. See, one thing that we have to understand and establish is, one thing to fight physically, but what about the emotional fight? What about the financial fight? What about the mental fight that you will go through every day as a man, and you know your little king is going through it, or your little queen is going through it, but yet and still as a man, you don't put yourself on the front line for your family? That is diabolical.
I think today's time, there's no conviction. Like, a lot of the men have no conviction. They're not convicted on their dreams. They're not convicted on on life, their goals, just making certain decisions and like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay locked in. There's no conviction with the men these days.
You know what I want to ask my women right now? And you just made me think of this. I want to ask my women, how does it feel every day to get in bed and have sex with your son? It sounds crazy, right? Let's think about it. He lives under your roof. He doesn't pay bills. He eat out of your fridge. He depends on you. He only survives because of you. So basically, she sleep with who? Her son. There are a lot of women I want to ask right now, how does it feel to sleep with your son? How does it feel? There's a bunch of grown men who are in relationships, and they're little boys. And little boys. Little boys. We can get on here and flame women all day, but let's talk about what these men aren't doing. A lot of y'all not men. A lot of y'all not men. Y'all believe intimacy is make you strong and masculine. If a woman can bring you down to her level, master, you ain't no king, fam. If a woman can get you to come to her level, you ain't no king. Because a king learns how to control his emotions. Somebody said, I'm tired of leading. Call him right now to explain this to me. 516-253. What do you mean by that? 1150. I know what you mean. I just want you to say it on live. 516-253-1150. Call him right now. Let's talk about it, Amanda. Right? A lot of these dudes don't want to lead. They want, you know what? They want you to follow a person that has no plan. They have no destination. They have no goals. They have no aspirations. But you get mad at a woman for not following you? I had a guy the other day tell me, she got to respect me as the man. I said, you live under her roof. You should respect her and be grateful that you have her. Because without her, you ain't got nothing, right? And a lot of times, this is what we do. Somebody said it. Yeah, you talking that truth. They want you to find you blindfolded. You want to follow me. They want you to follow them blindfolded. You got no destination. You got no plans, no nothing, but you believe that you're going to make it somewhere. And you want the woman to follow you there. This is stay down till I come up. Ain't that the term? Stay down till I come up. You know what struggle does to a woman? You know what it does to a woman? It makes her irritable. It makes her uncomfortable. It makes her insecure. It makes her feeling unworthy, undeserving. It crushes a woman when a woman feels insecure about finances. A woman, security is everything to them. And when a woman don't feel secure, oh my God, the house is gonna feel it. Anybody that grew up with a single mother, the mother will come home paying bills and always had to pay bills, you heard her mouth a lot, right? That's called, the security's not there. The security's not there. And we just talking logic. It's not by choice, it's by design. And I don't tell men that you gotta pay all your woman's bills, because if you're talking about that, that's crazy. What I'm saying is a man should be the head of his household. The man should be sacrificing more. The man should be paying more bills. And that's just what it is. I tell you right now, when you sit down and hear a woman's, listen, I want you to hear this real good. I want y'all to hear this really good. A woman's silent cries becomes loud screams to the right ears. A woman's silent cries, or her little cries, become silent. Her silent cries become loud screams to the right ears. So when you see that she's screaming and yelling, it's because no one's hearing her silent cries. No one's hearing it. You know what she said? Oh, let me guess, you put the fork in the sink? Women have something called, automatically, I'm gonna tell you something, and I want y'all to hear this good. They suffer from something called passive aggressive. They're very passive aggressive. So her sarcasm, right, comes across as what it is. And somebody just said, I'm a sim. I could bag your shorty. I bet my life on that. I bet I could take your girl. And I put my whole life on that. DM me your girl number. Let me DM her. And I bet you I could bag your woman. And I bet you she see me more man than you. I bet my life on that. And I talk my talk because it's facts. Facts, and I can give you a job. And I can give you a job. Get out of here, cornballs. Those be corny, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is the dudes that get insecure because you telling the truth. Y'all need to call Tavares at Travel, whatever his name is. Travel is out. Call him out. He a bum. Whole bum. These are the dudes. I never in my life seen men, right, hit dogs holler. I never seen men get insecure about a man talking. Like, that's crazy. I can go into a room right now, Tyler, no cap, and they could be having a conversation about how broke men don't take care of their kids, and I don't even care. It don't even affect me. Because I do a damn sure good job on my children. But yet and still, it makes them feel insecure because they know the bases are loaded. The bases are loaded. It's hurting your heart. That's what I call these men sweethearts. It's a whole sweetheart on the live. You a sweetheart. You a whole sweetheart. A sweetheart. He needs a hug. Get that man an emotional hug. Somebody give him a hug emoji, man. Give him some gifts. Give him a hug. Feel sorry for him. These dudes be sick, bro. That's why I'm scared of the new men. I'm scared of them, bro. They dead like shorties. They shorties. They got no masculine bone in their body. None. None. I tell you, you know my biggest fear? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. My biggest fear is a battle going on right now. I turn around with 100 men walk outside with me, and a bunch of them turn around and run. We know Traveler gonna run. Traveler gonna run. He gonna run. You getting insecure about facts. So we know what it is. We in a situation right now where we talking about logic. His feelings made him, oh my God, you're hurting my heart, right? And this is the reality. And this is what we gotta do. We gotta change society, bro. The standard of manhood has gotten so small that a man could get sex and think he a man. Let me say that again. The standards of man have gotten so small of what a man is it's all counts about how much sex he can have. That's a very easy standard to be a man. That's a very easy standard. But I think we need to fix this standard. Just because you can get sex don't make you a man. A man is one who goes provide. A man who puts himself in position so he can do better for his family. A man is who sacrifice. A man is who consistent. And that's what we don't want to hear. That man, he's in his feelings. He's in his estrogen. He in his estrogen. He in his whole estrogen. And I feel bad for him because I see this every day. You can tell the most logical conversation to a man and they get so defensive. And then I'm like, you know what my question is? Dre, if the woman gets mad and aggressive and a man gets mad and aggressive, what is he? He's a shorty. He's a whole shorty. He's a shorty. Somebody need to give him a hug. When I get on here and talk about my ladies eat it. They don't like it, but they talk, they hear it. And when I talk about you men, y'all gotta be able to eat it too. Right? And I'll take it for what it is. This guy's a clown. He in his feelings. He hurt. He hurt a little bit. He hurt his feelings. He's sitting in there right now playing 2K at his mother's house, mad as hell. His 99 overall ain't happening yet. He mad as hell right now. He live in his mama's house, mad as hell. Mad, probably on his shorty couch, getting cursed out every day. He like, he's talking about me. Talking about me. I don't even know you. That's what's crazy. When you can get somebody in their feelings, you don't even know them. Oh my God. Yeah, T.
I see some women, they say, like a lot of these men are soft. That's why they don't date these days. Yes, they are, but we still gotta. A lot of these women is diabolical too, bro. They talk crazy to a lot of the men, and when you stand up for your standards and your morals, they call you soft. They call you arrogant. They call you all types of names in the book because you know yourself. So yes, there's a lot of diabolical men, but at the same time, women they play a factor in this as well too.
You wouldn't say that the energy has shifted?
The energy has shifted though. The energy has shifted.
The women nowadays are like tougher than a lot of the men.
They are. But it's hard to, but then they run around thinking every man is soft. You can't think like that.
But you can stand your pivot. She'll see it. Yo, believe you me, I hate to say this, without a crown, a woman can see I'm a king. I'm gonna say that again. Without a crown, a woman can see I'm a king. And this is reality. A woman can see what she see, and there's nothing you can do to make her see what she don't see. That's the issue with a lot of men do. They fight with the women to see what the woman don't see. A woman already saw what she saw. She knows who you are. Women know who to play with. Women know who to talk crazy to. Women know who not to talk crazy to. Because one thing about a woman is when she respects you, she respects you. When a woman don't respect you, she don't respect you. It's just what it is. But like I said, a lot of times we talking about society today, we dealing with a lot of very, very, very unmasculine men. And I don't like to use the term feminine because I don't want feminine to sound like it's inferior to masculine energy. But there's roles, right? And someone calling right now, let's talk about it. What do you think is going on? Why these men are so not masculine these days? Someone calling right now, 516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing is when a man drives his woman car and they feel the need to tell you that they paid the car note and they volunteer to lie. And they be like, yo, I pay the car note so I drive it because I pay it. We know they don't, but the reality is in order for him to feel comfortable doing it, he gotta believe his own lie. See, the problem with a lie is the mind gravitates towards the lie and it believes it. Like the little dude that was on the live a minute ago, I could take his whole shorty. I could take his whole shorty from him. I know I can. Because I know for a fact his woman is going to be attracted to masculine energy. Any feminine energy will always be attracted to masculine energy. And the one thing about feminine energy, you cannot fake it. Feminine energy can see masculine energy. And in feminine energy, guess what they also can see? Feminine energy. Feminine energy know when a man is feminine. She knows it. And a feminine woman also know when a man is masculine because it goes completely against her nature. She can see it, right? Listen, someone call him right now. What's going on, Isaac? 516-253-1150. We talking about what happened to the masculine energy with men. What happened? That man got in his feelings, guys. I don't know who just tuning in. That man was in his whole feelings. He proved my point. The whole point of this conversation is because I know how they get when you have these conversations. They get defensive. They make it, listen, and ladies, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. I don't care if you get upset. But look, Tyler, sit with a woman in a room and say things about a woman and see how fast that woman come to the aid of a woman. Think she gonna get mad, right? She gonna get defensive, right? Because it's gonna make her get in her feelings. If a man does that and he personalized the conversation,
He a woman too.
he a whole woman. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta call a spade a spade. We in a different time, right? People move so different, right? Like somebody just said it. This conversation ain't for the weak. It's not for the weak. Everybody can't stomach these conversations, right? But I stand on it. I can bet you can go down for my whole history of dating, right, to all my exes. Ask him, have you ever borrowed money from you? Nope. Has he ever lived off of you? Nope. Has he ever borrowed your car? Nope. Has he always had his own? Yep. Does he own his own home? Yep. Everything he's done by himself. But again, I don't mind partnering up with a woman as a team, but I'm not gonna allow me not having a woman or having a woman determine my success. I'm not gonna allow me having or not having a woman determine my success. A woman can only compliment me. A woman can't make me. A woman can compliment me. She cannot make me. And when a man feels like he needs to be made by a woman, it's because he hasn't gotten off his mother's nipple yet. He's still a baby. Because a woman should only compliment the man. Any man I see that pursues woman over their purpose never meets purpose. He always looking for satisfaction, which ultimately gives him something called what? His dopamine rush. Bagging girls, chasing vagina. Because again, he doesn't have no purpose. So his purpose become flesh. And the worst God that you could have is a fleshly God, a lusty God. Your lusty God will always keep you stuck in misery. Most men that I see that sleep with a lot of women, a lot of them are very miserable because the flesh won't satisfy you. Look at this analogy. You got a big hole in you, right? And you stuffing it with money, right? And you stuff it with money. You stuff it with a car. You stuff it with a house. You know what happens eventually? You stuff it with women. You know what happens still, right? It start leaking out still. It start leaking. And you know why it's leaking? Because the only way you can fill that hole is by building yourself back. If you don't heal from the inside, you have to heal yourself. And a lot of times these men aren't healing themselves. They healing themselves. They stuffing things in them to make them feel like they're more secure. I got 10 girls, but you got $10 in your pocket. I got a BMW, but you broke as hell. I got on the new J's, but your kid look like a bum. This is what we talk about. Your priorities is disengaged from reality because you insecure with yourself. I know fathers that'll come outside right now with some holy sneakers on and don't give a damn, but he got the bag and he's secure with himself because his purpose and his priorities is handled first. And I know some men that come outside every day, fly as hell, and they don't even take care of their goddamn kids. I know men right now that owe back child support, but if you see them, they fly. But their life is really, like, they owe back child support, but their life is on life support. Let me say that again. They're on back child support, but their life is on back child support. Their life is on life support. Let me say that one more time. You got men who are on child support and owe a lot of money in back child support, and their life is on life support, and they still running around here acting like they got it all together. And they fly because they can get a girl. To all my men on my live right now, if a woman is your purpose, you are sadly mistaken. You'll never be satisfied. Never. You ever laid in the bed with a woman? And I want to ask my men on my live right now, being fair and honest, you ever laid in the bed with a woman and just felt like you wasn't satisfied?
Yeah, and you don't want to get intimate. You don't want to have
But watch
sex,
this.
nothing.
But when you first was chasing the sex, it was lit.
It was lit.
But now that feeling is gone, right?
Yep.
Because a woman should never be a man's purpose. Sex should never be a man's purpose. Pleasure, right? Pleasure should be gifted to you based on accomplishing. When you accomplishing, then you give yourself sex. Because if you constantly give yourself sex, you never accomplish. That's the issue in today's society. Masculine energy don't see that we have to be able to control our flesh. Good.
There's a true study too that says like sex is an energy transfer. So you're transferring energies, whether it's good energy, bad energy.
Hold on, you got to say this. I want to say this. I'm gonna say your name too. Pinouware, he said you have to have a why. You have to have a why. Let me give it up for you. Hold on. Good.
So sex is an energy transfer. So you're transferring energies with people who are low vibrational, people who are negative, people who are in the drama, all positive people as well. So if you're a man and you're just constantly having sex, you're depleting and draining your energy that you could be used and putting that into something that's gonna, be your purpose or something like that. So they say like you're really not supposed to be having sex with everybody because you're transferring energy, you're depleting your life force.
Let me ask you a question. Watch this. In most cases, how many men you know that can stop right before, when a woman's naked and she's sexy, beautiful, body amazing, how many men out of 10 could stop right before sex?
Probably 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. And that one is the one that's going to be super successful. But guess what? Most people going to say, oh, he's something, he's not a real man, he's this, is that. No, that man has self-control. When you have self-control, you can see a woman naked and look right past her. If you can look past a woman's aesthetics, close your eyes, right? Close your eyes and be attracted to what you're hearing, then you reach a whole different level of manhood. When a man still is visual and can't control his visual, he will ultimately be fleshly driven. But when a man can close his eyes and listen to the woman and see what she's doing based on her actions, that man becomes successful, bro. Because he's reached a whole nother level. Because you're not looking at the flesh. Because a mentality doesn't always be represented by what you see. And that's what a lot of men haven't reached that level. And a lot of men won't reach that level because they still chasing flesh. The lust, the fulfillment of a moment of satisfaction. It's fake. It lasts temporarily, and then right after it, it's like a drug addict. After you get the high, you mad as hell and you want to get high again. And that's the same thing what they do. You're going to keep chasing it, a high after high, over and over and over and over, ultimately never get anywhere in life. Someone call in right now, 516. Let me hear from my man, 516-253-1150. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. I'm asking my question, what happened to masculinity? What happened to masculinity? What happened to masculinity? What happened to it? I'm seeing men not act like men anymore. And we're not talking about people in their sexual preferences. That's what I don't want y'all to get at. That's not what I'm talking about. Because what a person do on grown time, that's their business. I don't care. You're talking about, you see that the other day when they said that the testosterone in today's man is equivalent to a 70-year-old man from the 80s?
Yeah, they're low, extremely low.
You see this right now? I wonder what's going on. Something's going on.
But they say the drugs too give estrogen. So like weed, when somebody who smokes a lot, that's why they so emotional and like give some dude who smokes a lot of weed every day. He's very emotional in to certain conversations because every time he's getting high, he's getting estrogen, release estrogen. A man, you're not supposed to have that much estrogen as a man.
And that's what I see a lot of men got. But again, the society today is, I'm asking, what's up with the masculinity? What's up with the masculinity? Where did it go? Right? I noticed, you know what's weird? A man will see a man manning and give him an excuse. I know men that get up and provide for their family and call simps. They call a simp, well, he a simp. No, he could afford the life. And I bet you go in his house, he's respected and received way more than you. We don't have no more pride. As men, we don't have no more pride. And it's scary because if we like to bring up the Bible when it comes to how women behave in society, we call them Jezebels, right? Then what we gonna call them, man, bozos? Because if we look at what the women aren't doing as far as being women, let's name it what we're not doing as far as being men. And I say we, even though I don't do the behavior, but I'm still going under the bus with you because I'm trying to pull some of my brothers from under the bus. I'm trying to help a lot of y'all get y'all life together. Because the reality is a woman should never be your driving force. If you only want to be great because of your woman, that means the moment she leaves, you don't want to be great no more. If you only want to be great because of your woman, the moment she leaves, you don't want to be great no more. Your driving force shouldn't be because of a woman. I tell people all the time, I never wanted a big house because I wanted to brag about owning a big house. I wanted a big house because my family needed a bigger house. So when you look at, someone said earlier, the why, I became a great man because my son didn't have both parents. He only had me. So I had to figure it out. In retrospect, when you look at life, sometimes things not happening to you, they happening for you. And a lot of people don't understand why these things are happening for you is to make you greater. You get mad at the fact that your life ain't going the way you want, but you keep driving in the same lane, going to the same destination every goddamn day, expecting different results. That's insanity. A lot of these men are insane because you want a woman to submit to something that she doesn't see as a king. You want a woman to follow somebody that don't got no destination. You want a woman to respect someone that don't respect their goddamn self. Because if you respected yourself, you wouldn't even put yourself in a position where a woman can talk to you like that. It's one thing when you come home from a jail situation or something, or you fell off, you lost your job. But a true woman knows their ambition when she sees it. A real woman knows a man that's fallen off and a man that's comfortable staying down. It's two different men. There are men that fall off and there are men that are comfortable staying down. Women know the difference. And the reality is a lot of y'all are playing like the man that fell off. The man that want to stay down is acting like he's the man that fell off. And he want the woman to feel sorry, and 2 years later, you're still acting like you the man that fell off. Because a true hustler hustles. And if he do fall off, he gets the hell right back up. Because I'm going to tell you something. No one learned how to ride a bike the first time they got on it. They fell, got back up, fell, got back up, fell, got back up, fell, got back up, and they kept trying until they learned. The one thing about life, we got to understand as men, we're the leaders. When I come into a business, I'm not arguing with the cashier. If the men are the leaders, why the hell are we arguing with the supervisors? You're arguing with the management. And if the man is the leader, why the hell are we arguing with the cashiers? You say the man is the CEO and the business is failing, but I'm going to turn to the next in command and complain to him. That's what a lot of you men want to do. Y'all want to turn to the woman and point the finger at her, but y'all don't want the fingers being pointed back at you. And I'm going to say this as I always say this. When I walk into a house and your house is dirty, I'm damn sure looking at the women. But I walk into a house and the lights is cut off, I'm damn sure looking at you men. And we can try to go over this new society standards all you want. The reality is the reality. When I walk into a dirty home, I'm looking at the woman. And then when I walk into a house and that house is suffering financially, I'm damn sure looking at the man. Damn sure. I remember one time, I'm gonna hold you and I'm gonna say this, and she gonna get mad, but I don't give a damn. I'm gonna tell you something. I do not lend no money to no woman that has a man. I'm gonna say this again. I don't lend money to no woman that has a man. I don't do that. And I'm gonna tell you why. And this is the God honest truth. Because if your man, it didn't irritate his spirit, it didn't make him uncomfortable that his woman got up and went to go ask somebody, another man for money, and it didn't bother him, you dating a little boy. Think about it like this. Your child sitting in the car, you get out and go ask your sister for some money, and he just sitting in the car. Your child don't know no better. But as a grown, rusty man, you sitting in that car watching your woman go ask another man to borrow money, and you damn sure feel comfortable? That is diabolical. I will never, and I say this again, I will never lend money to a woman that has a man. Because the reality is, you giving this man your most intimate prize, and he ain't giving you nothing in return. Because he can come lay with you, don't mean he can help you build. And when we get to a certain age, we gotta realize it's about building. So if you ain't building nothing at this point, then what are you doing? You wasting your goddamn time. So I'm gonna ask my question again before I get out of here today. What happened to masculinity? What happened to it? Every day I look at these men and I'm like, this is sad. I see men, and I wanna go on record and tell you, you're not weak because you feel, man. You're not weak because you feel. I know it's hard being a man, but at the end of the day, he made us stronger for a reason, right? And I'm just keeping it 100. But a lot of men don't want to hear this logic. But today they're gonna get this work. They're gonna get this work. I don't care. I got one of the dudes in his feelings today, which I wanted to prove, and you made the episode good by proving my point. These dudes are full of estrogen, right? Sweethearts. You need a hug, right? Someone call in before I get out of here today and answer this question. What happened to masculinity? Someone call in right now. Call in right now before we get off of here. 516-253-1150. 516-253-1150. I'm asking again. What happened to masculinity? Someone answer that question. What happened to masculinity? What happened to it? What happened to it? I'm curious. I need someone to call in right now before we get out of here today. But the one thing I do see is growing up, the one thing I will say changed, and I want y'all to hear this. There's a saying, when you go to the restaurant and you sit at the table and there's a man and a woman sitting at the table, after they eat, what comes? The check or the bill, right? What I'm seeing with men nowadays, you know what they do? They push the bill. They pushing the bill to the women, right? Because they don't want to pay for it. There's a lot of men nowadays who do not want to pay the bill, but they want to be considerably men. And that's a reality. Use the computer. Use the computer. Caller, what's going on, caller?
Hey, so I want to ask you a question about what's going on with masculinity.
Okay.
So, my mom was in an abusive relationship with my biological father.
Wow.
And when she kicked him out, he said, when they got married, you ain't do nothing but take over from where my mother left off. So she felt some type of way. Like, really? So I'm your mother now? And he's like, well, you doing the same thing my mother did. So I think a lot of the times what happens to masculinity is these mothers out here coddle these men until they well into their 20s, 30s, you know what I'm saying, 40 years old. and they don't hold them responsible and teach them because there's no man around.
100%.
You know,
I agree.
had a woman call my job the other day. She's still booking appointments for her 20-some-year-old son, and
Wow.
she's tired of it. And I'm like, if you tired of it, then stop doing it from him. How is he going to learn if you keep doing everything for him as a mother? You know? So the masculinity, it lies with the females, and we do have to take accountability for how we raising our sons. If you don't have a man in your life, put them around your brother or your uncles or the grandfathers or something like that so they know what a man is supposed to be like. You know?
100%
So that's
facts.
just my intake on the masculinity.
I love it. Let me give a round of applause. 100% facts. 100% facts. She said it like it's true. We got to be accountable. A lot of people aren't trying to be accountable. And you're 100% right.
Yeah.
100% right. 100% right. My sister, I appreciate you so much. She's facts. You got to give it up for her. A lot of these men nowadays are coming from single mothers who over-coddle them to the point where they look for mothers. And I'm just calling a spade a spade. And I'm going to tell y'all something funny, and this is what kicked the kicker every time. A lot of people on my live right now, I want to ask y'all something. Y'all see me as very masculine? I'm asking y'all this question. Do y'all see me as very masculine? To my people on live. Do y'all see me as a masculine? I want to see somebody answer that. Yes or no? Do you see me as a masculine? Someone said yes. Someone else says yes. Someone else says yes. Someone else says yes. Now I'm going to tell you something. I come from a single mother of 6. I never had no father in my house. But the issue is my mom never dated me. My mom never, ever, ever made me somebody that I'm not. My mom treated me exactly like what I was. I was the boy in the house until I became the man of the house. She never treated me like a man. My mom made me do manly things, learning how to become a man, but my mom never dated me. I was never her boo-boo. I was never her, I was never that. My mom never gave me that. My mom treated me like a little man, and there was consequences when you did wrong. And she did not justify my behavior. There was consequences, right? Just like how the world operates with a man. A man has to understand that life has consequences. Someone call in one more time. One more caller. Someone said they want to call him right now, Tyler. All right, call him right now. 516-253-1150. Someone call him right now. 516-253-1150. It's the truth. A lot of these men don't want to be men because they were never taught how to be men. And then when you look at it, the women say, I can't raise a man, right? But why don't you teach him to be the man you wish you had? Think about that logic. A lot of the women say, oh, I can't teach him how to be a man, but you could teach him how to be someone that you wish you had. You wish you had someone responsible. You wish you had someone respectful. You can teach him these things. Make your bed. Stop, oh, my little boo-boo. Oh my God, 516. Put the number, 516-253-1150. Right? Someone call in right now before we get out of here today. 516-253-1150. We're saying facts. I think the women play a major part in the men you're seeing today. And I don't blame you for being nurturers. But ladies, if you are a single mother, you got to put your big girl panties on and do what you got to do. Caller, what's going on?
How's it going, boss?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right today. How you doing?
I can't complain. How you feel about the question?
So I think a big problem with masculinity nowadays is obviously, I think it's overheard, but not said enough, or maybe heard to respond and not heard to understand. But weak times make for strong men make for good times.
Yes.
Good times for weak men, right? There's that sweet vicious cycle.
Yes.
And right now we're in a time of weak times, you know. And we need strong men because we're dealing with weak men. And what I think a lot of people are not realizing, and things that are starting to really kind of come to a head, is in the past 20 years, birth control has been such a huge thing.
Yes.
And birth control, a lot of times people think that's such a great thing because no matter what, we can't stop our youth from having sexual relations, which that's an argument for a different day.
Okay.
But we're putting all these women, all these girls on birth control, and we're saying it's for cramps or managing their symptoms or whatever. And coming from a female, I completely get it. I understand it. However, what we're not talking about is when a woman or a female takes birth control, it is tricking her body into thinking she's pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're tricking your body into thinking you're pregnant, and all these men, all these boys that our kids, our daughters are going to school with, from junior high on, all these young men are around a bunch of young women where that the men's bodies, their natural bodies, think these women are pregnant. And the natural body's response, a natural man's body's response, is to look for a female who is ready to duplicate, right? Ready to procreate, right?
Okay.
So the testosterone, when all these boys, I'm calling them boys because they're 12, 13, 14, they're young.
Yeah.
When they're around all these girls on birth control, and they're all tricked into thinking, girls and the boys at this point, tricked into thinking that the girls are pregnant, the boys have no reason to continue to produce testosterone.
Wow.
They're no longer surrounded by potential partners, right?
Wow.
So this actually starts at a very, very, very young age. This actually begins very, very young, and this is the beginning of depopulation.
Listen, the numbers are actually down. It's actually down.
And that's why the testosterone levels are actually depleting from starting at a very, very young age. It's not starting at 40, 50 years old. No, it's starting in the teens. It's starting to cut off in the teens. And now we're giving this testosterone to the females. So we're making the men weaker, literally, without even knowing it, by just giving these females this birth control, which I'm not saying is overall bad, but if we're looking at the way our biology works and the pheromones and the hormones that is, secreting out of our pores and secreting out of our bodies and then being picked up by the opposite sex, our bodies are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Wow. That's a great point. That's a great point. Wow. I never thought about that.
And then on top of that, as you were saying, it makes it a lot easier for women to get out of. They're talking about divorce rates being so high and how men are the ones who aren't looking for divorce and women are.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are saying, yeah, but that's because we can have bank accounts now. Yeah, but now we can get out of divorce. Well, yeah, I would agree that is part of it. But to an extent, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that mama never popped the titty out your mouth.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, ladies, let's not forget that just because daddy called you princess your whole life growing up doesn't mean that when you turn 18, everybody else is going to be on board.
100% facts. That's a fact.
If you, when I forget what her name is, but she is phenomenal. And I wish I would have looked up her name before I hopped on here and gave you a call. But she had made a really strong point, and she said that we are made from man's rib. And what that means is not to be protected by his wing, not to be under his wing, but we are made from man's rib. And that is to be protected, not because we are weak, but because we are important. Not only that, but where that importance comes from is not because we can, have children or we can take care of the home or we are what makes the home or we are what keeps our man's peace or whatever. But what does the rib do? The rib protects the heart.
Yes, it does.
The rib also protects vital organs.
Yes, it does.
The rib is not above the man. It's not up near its head. He is not. The woman is not to lead by head. The rib is not down by the feet to be trampled on.
Yes.
We are close to the heart because we are to be one and we're to be working together, and we're to protect each other. We see things that you don't. You see things that we don't.
Agreed.
That's what I meant by I want to be blindfolded.
Well,
I want to be blindfolded. I want you to lead me, and I want to know that no matter what step I take, I'm going to be safe because you're going to lead me in a direction that I know we're going to be safe. And you know what? If we end up in a spot that is colder than we wanted, or hotter than we wanted, or maybe less comfortable than we wanted, that's okay.
I agree.
That's okay, because I'm not here to tell the world that your crown was slipping. I'm here to just fix it real quick, adjust it, speak life into you real quick, and keep trekking, keep moving.
100%. What's your name again?
My name's Amanda.
Amanda, great, valid points. Wow. Wow. Very profound examples, too. Give it up for Amanda. Guys, that was amazing. Man, I appreciate that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I appreciate you inviting me in, man.
Listen, I appreciate you more. Great examples, guys. Great examples. Right? She has some very, 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 very valid points. Very valid. Like I said, guys, right? We gotta learn in order how to be men. We gotta learn how to be men. So to the men that's not out here manning and being men, it's okay to find a role model, mirror certain behaviors, because everyone needs an example, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the issue is when you're not comfortable with hearing truth, you'll ultimately always be satisfied with a lie. Till next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.